The 18 best flat track motorcycle racers in the world will line up in 3 rows of 6. Here is your starting lineup for tonight's Grand National Expert Main.
It's always fun introducing riders that really need no introduction, but we're going to do it anyway. Starting with this man on the pole out of Morris, Connecticut for the Zanatti Racing Maroney's Harley-Davidson team on this XR 750. 2 wins to his credit. 5th in points. Make some noise for national number 2, the king of cool, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Going off in the 2 spot. He has won the Sacramento Mile 4 consecutive times. That's the record. Out of Flint, Michigan, 2nd in series points on the Via Esparza Crosley Razio Kawasaki from Flint, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, national number 42. We call him the Piper, Brian Smith. Here's your point leader arriving on the scene right now to the line. Out of Clio, Michigan, the Rogers Racing Las Vegas Harley-Davidson XR 750. 2 victories and the point lead. National number 9, the Jammer, Jared Mees. Going off in the 4th starting spot from Oxford, Pennsylvania on the USC Kawasaki, Hart Racing Kawasaki. National number 44, Indy. Make some noise for Brandon Robinson. Going off in the 5th starting spot, he finds himself 3rd in series points. He's in the hunt out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania on the Ramspur Winery Lloyd Brothers Motorsports Ducati. We call him Jersey Jake Johnson. Last one on the front row out of Eatonville, Washington on the Harley-Davidson Motor Company Screaming Eagle Racing Parts Factory XR 750. He's the Bullet, ladies and gentlemen. National number 1, your defending champ, Brad the Bullet Baker. Moving to the 2nd row, national number 80 comes from Salinas, California. On the other Zanatti Racing entry with classic Harley-Davidson on board, give it up for national number 80. There's Chris Carr, by the way, helping him. Give it up for national number 80, Stevie Bonsi. A pair of Salinas, California riders comes to the line on the Monster Energy Werner Springsteen Kawasaki, and there's Bill Werner right there. National number 14, Briar Bauman. Doing it for the Bonneville Performance Factory Triumph team on this beautifully prepared Triumph Bonneville from Acampo, California. We call him Fuzzy. National number 91, Mikey Martin. Our next rider is 4th in series points. He hails from Graham, Washington on the Southeast Harley-Davidson Kawasaki. Ladies and gentlemen, national number 7, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. Going to our 11th starter from Crystal, Michigan. He's the most recent winner on the tour out of Castle Rock, Washington on the Don's Kawasaki EX 650. National number 17, Indy. It's hammering Hank Wiles. Our next rider gets his mail up at Mississauga, Ontario, Canada on the Lawrence Racing, John Caslin Racing Harley-Davidson. National number 73, we call him Fresh. It is Doug Lawrence. Now we move to this final row. Starting in the 13th starting spot from Mossville, Illinois on the Weerbach Racing Kawasaki. He is the ringleader of the FBI. The Fast Boys from Illinois are in the house. National number 27, we call him Bugs, Robbie Pearson. On the Black Hills Harley-Davidson Motor Company backed XR 750. The racing lady from Clio, Michigan, national number 15, Nicole Mees. Going off in the 15th starting spot from Glenmore, Pennsylvania on the Montgomeryville Cycle Center Kawasaki EX 650. The double nickels are in the house. National number 55, make some noise for Jake Shoemaker. Our next rider from Willow Street, Pennsylvania, and the host of Flat Track Weekly on Tuesday nights on the Racing Unlimited Kawasaki. National number 65, he's known as Z-Tex. Give it up for Corey Texter. Going off in the 17th starting spot from Grand Blanc, Michigan on the Murray Mechanical American Harley-Davidson XR. Ladies and gentlemen, national number 51, Steve Murray. Just because he's your last place starter, don't count him out of anything here. Another member of the FBI out of Godfrey, Illinois on the Lombardi's Harley-Davidson. Ladies and gentlemen, national number 23. Give it up for Jeff Carver. And for the final time this evening, I'm going to throw it up topside for the man who is going to call the play-by-play as a former Grand National expert. Hollywood, it's all yours, partner.
Thanks a lot, Barry. Great job with the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, they're putting their helmets on right now. Let's put our hands together for all 18 in the main event here tonight. They're told to fire them up. They will give them one lap to check out the racetrack. Looks like Corey Texter has chosen that fourth row. He wants to get out there and get on the racing groove as fast as he can, as soon as he can, on the Racing Unlimited McElroy packaging Kawasaki. Our friends with FlatTrack.com out there snapping a few more photos before they send them loose. Brian Smith takes the outside of row number 1. Looks like beside him is the jammer Jared Meese on the 9. Looks like he's trying to spin that rear tire just a little bit and get some rubber laid down there on the front row. Sammy Sweet, former number 60 out there, is one of his mechanics. Here comes, looks like possibly Bill Warner out there to stick the start on the side of his Kawasaki there in row number 2. Jake Shoemaker trying to fire up the double nickel, the 55 bike. I always think of 55, think of Roger Riemann. Riemann's Harley-Davidson rider. Jake Shoemaker taking over the 55 this year after he won the Saddlemen Rookie of the Year last year. There are no rookies in the field in this one, though. All these are national numbers. Several single digits are out there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. They are ready to go. They're going to send them off for one lap to check out the racetrack. Hope you folks at home at fanschoice.tv are listening in and are ready to go also. Have your computers on. Have them on the big screen. Cool, that takes off from the inside. Baker. 5 is Johnson. 44 is Robinson. 9 is Meese. 42 is Smith. 7 of Sammy Hubbard on a Kawasaki. 17 Henry Wiles on a Kawasaki. Doug Lawrence on the Weebler's Harley. 91 Mikey Martin. And the rest of the riders all taking off in a hurry. Again, they call it a sighting lap. What this also does, it gives those teams a chance to warm up their tires. A lot of them have tire warmers. They stick on those bikes down there in the holding pen in the pit area before they get ready. But now that gives them a chance to get the tires up to temperature. 18 riders going to line up. Our points leader, the jammer Jared Meese, he's up there on the front row. Kenny Coolbeth on the front row, the Zanatti Racing Harley. 42, Brian Smith on the Kawasaki. 44, Brandon Robinson, the USC Kawasaki. Jake Johnson, the only Ducati in the main event. He is on the front row on the number 5 bike at the factory Harley. Number 1, that's Baker. All those riders on row number 1. We have one Triumph out there back in row number 2. That is 91. That's the Bonneville Performance Factory Triumph. He's in row number 2, number 91 on his number plate. 3 rows of 6, ladies and gentlemen. See Sammy Halbert choosing to run the Kawasaki today. If you get a chance to go to the pit area, please take a look at that motorcycle. It's very unique. The radiator's on the side, the right side of that motorcycle, where the right number plate is. It's very cool. I'm just curious to see how in the world he gets air to go through that radiator with that number plate on the outside of it, but somehow it seems to be working for him. So actually we have 2 rows of 6, we're on row of 5. Corey Texter back there on the 4th row. He said, I'm going to try to get out here to the groove as fast as we can. Everybody pulling up to the line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Indy Mile. 25 laps. The 10-second board is up. It's already down. There's 1 red, 2 yellows, and then we go green. Clutches are in. Bikes are in gear. Kevin Clark says, hold on a second. Said something happened in row number 3. The light went back to red, making sure all those bikes did not cross the line. Lined up and ready to go. Let's try it once again. The first yellow's on. Second yellow is on now. And the green is on. That means the race is on. Smith goes up to the groove. Meese goes up there with him. Smith trying to take the lead from the outside. He does shut the door, so Brian Smith goes up to the groove and drops right down in front of Jared Meese. Looks like Johnson settled into the 3rd spot. Off of turn number 2 they go. 1 rider dropping like a rock deep in the field. out of the harm's way, though, now that he gets back going up under speed. So it's Smith with the whole shot. Meese. Now here comes Jake Johnson. Johnson says, give me the lead. Lap number 1, he's going for it. I believe Jake Johnson takes the Ducati out front. Second spot, Brian Smith. Third, Meese was up there momentarily. Now one rider slipping off the groove. That was fourth place rider. He slips up deep. Now we got 3 riders pulling away. Zanatti teammates running 4th and 5th. They'll have to work together to try to catch up to the leader. It's Brian Smith. Ducks back down onto the bottom, onto the groove. So we got Smith out front. Jake Johnson in the 2 spot, number 5. Johnson's going to set his sights on the leader. Jared Meese right there in the 3rd spot. Looks like Coolbeth is caught up there. He's in 4th. New leader going into 3. It's Jake Johnson once again on the number 5 Ducati. Slide Brian Smith back to 2nd place on the 42 bike. Meese was in 3rd last time by. Coolbeth is trying to end that battle for 3rd right now. Here they come off of 4. Lap number 2 going in the books. 23 more miles to go. Coolbeth comes on through and takes over the 2nd spot. Now he sets his sights on the leader. Out front, it's Jake Johnson on the Ducati. 2nd is the Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson. Kenny Coolbeth, he is coming to the head of the class in a hurry. Smith back there in 3rd. 4th is the 9 of Jared Meese. Now here comes up the inside. Coolbeth wants to lead this one. Into turn number 3 they go. Indy Mile right here. Beautiful night at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Chamber of Commerce weather. They told us we were going to have 100% chance of rain. That ain't happening. Back out front, battle for the lead. They're 3 wide, battling for the lead of this one. Smith comes up there. Now he's on the outside. He didn't quite make the pass. So it's Johnson, Coolbeth, Smith, and Meese. Off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. 2 riders pulling away just a little bit. It's Coolbeth and Johnson. Now here comes Johnson getting the draft. Johnson goes drafting by into turn number 3. Smith also drafts by Meese into the 3rd spot. So now in turn number 3 and 4, it is Johnson. Johnson at the point. Here comes new rider, comes on by. Get things sorted out. Looks like one rider slipped a little bit wide. Might have been Johnson. Here they come off at 4. Now the leader has a big advantage. That is Coolbeth. So Johnson slipped up down there in 3 and 4. Not sure what happened down there. I couldn't see it from my point of view. No, it looks like Smith is way up there, going up there, trying the high line. He's up against the air fence. He's grabbing a handful, but he loses 2 more positions on the racetrack. So Smith back to 6th. Out front, it's the king of cool, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. pulling away. Battle for 2nd and 3rd. It's Johnson and Meese battling for 2nd and 3rd spot on the racetrack. Brian Smith's not giving up on that high line. He goes right back to the high side on the racetrack. Out front, Kenny Coolbeth pulling away on the Harley-Davidson. Meese now in the 2nd position. Johnson in 3rd. Johnson goes around the outside, takes over the 2nd spot. Robinson and Baker battling back here for 4th and 5th. So the bullet, Brad Baker's coming to the front. He's bringing with him the 44 of Brandon Robinson, the tall drinker water that ended up in the parking lot one year right here, right outside turn number 2. Coolbeth has some breathing room down the back straightaway. Johnson is battling back there with Jared Meese. This is allowing Kenny Coolbeth to start pulling away. 5 laps are in the books. 20 laps to go. Next time by 6 will be in the books here at the Indy Mile. Coolbeth wants to get out of town. He's trying to do it all by himself on the number 2 bike. Johnson, Meese, and Baker, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 5th is Brandon Robinson. 6th is Brian Smith. As he went across the line, Henry Wiles is in 7th. Bonzi was in 8th. Doug Lawrence 9th. Briar Bauman 10th. Jake Shoemaker. Sammy Halbertson 12th. Mikey Martin, Corey Texter, Robbie Pearson, Nicole Meese, Steve Murray, and Jeffrey Carver. That's how they full field one rundown at lap number 6. Now they're catching the leader, ladies and gentlemen. They have caught the leaders. Now out front, it is Coolbeth. Coolbeth has his hands full. Here they come, battling for the lead. It's still Coolbeth. Johnson is right there. Meese in the 3rd spot. Baker's right there in 4th. Now 4 riders battling for the lead. This one is far from over, ladies and gentlemen. Down the back straightaway, 3 riders trying to battle for the lead. Let's go back out front. Who is it going to be to lead them off this time off of turn number 4? Coolbeth says, let me have this one. And everybody else says, I don't think so. This one's not quite over yet. Lap number 8 going in the books. Here they come off of 4. It is still Coolbeth. The big number 2 is out front. So we got Coolbeth. Now Meese up to 2nd. He's got Johnson right there with him. The Bullet, Brad Baker in the 4th spot, and then we got a little bit gap to the 42. That is Brian Smith on the all-black Kawasaki in the 5th spot. Look at the 2nd spot battle going on. It's Meese on the inside. Johnson tries the high line. Meese says not yet. Getting things sorted out. Back out front. It is number 2, Kenny Coolbeth. He still has a little bit of breathing room once again. Coolbeth, Johnson, Meese. Now Brad Baker's putting on a charge on the number 1 bike. Factory Harley's trying to come to the front. He's got a lot of traffic right in front of him. Actually, just 2 riders who keep swapping the position for 2nd place, and Coolbeth now has some more breathing room. Last time by, was out front by about almost a half a second. Kenny Coolbeth had the points lead earlier on this season, had a mechanical issue at Hagerstown. Did not make the main event last weekend at Castle Rock. He is looking to get back some more points that he had lost earlier in the season. New rider taking over 2nd place. That's the Bullet, Brad Baker. Brad Baker's brought the Factory Harley up there to the 2nd spot. Down the back straightaway they go. It is Coolbeth on the Zanatti Harley out front. Battles it from there on back. 2nd through 5th is still anybody's race. Johnson, Brad Baker, Jared Meese on the 9, Brian Smith on the 42 bike. Anything can still happen from 2nd on back as the leader still has a little bit of breathing room. Last time by was over a half a second. There's Coolbeth on the 2. Johnson, Baker, Meese. Brian Smith throws it sideways really early on the straightaways. That's your top 5. Last time by, Kenny Coolbeth's lead was 0.67 seconds, so a little over a half a second. Johnson's in 2nd, Brad Baker's 3rd, Jared Meese was in 4th, Brian Smith was in 5th. That's your top 5 as they have 11 laps in the books. We got 1 rider slow off the pace in turn 1 and 2. No harm, no foul. It's the 51, Steve Murray. His night ends early. He's still up on 2 wheels, but he pulls in off of the back straightaway. Coolbeth back out front. Baker in 2nd, Meese in 3rd, Brian Smith is there. Jake Johnson's back in the 5th spot. He may have used up his tire a little bit too soon. And now Brian Smith is right there, and in the 6th spot is Brandon Robinson. Now he's catching up to this pack. The Bullet, Brad Baker's putting his head down, ladies and gentlemen. He's up to 2nd place. He wants some more. Good battle heating up for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as Brian Smith is in the 5th spot. Halfway flags are coming in the air. We're halfway through the Indy Mile. Off of turn number 4, still Kenny Coolbeth out front. Coolbeth bringing him back this direction. Good battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Anybody's race right there for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They're going to have to try to figure something out. They're going to try to track down Kenny Coolbeth. The King of Cool is pulling away, ladies and gentlemen, on the 2 bike. All these guys battling for 2nd through 5th is letting Kenny Coolbeth sneak away. Coolbeth has 2 wins on the season. He won at Daytona, and he also won at Knoxville. He feels that Hagerstown got away from him with a mechanical issue. He's looking for win number 3 on the 2014 season. Coolbeth still out front, number 2. Last time by was Meese, Baker, Johnson, and Smith, your top 5. This time it's Coolbeth, Meese, Baker, Johnson, and Smith. Same top 5. Robinson back in 6th. Henry Wiles is in the 7th spot. Henry Wiles sitting all by himself right there in the 7th spot. Now 1 rider slips off the groove a little bit deeper in the field. Possibly Briar Bauman slips off the groove. Now he gets it pointed the right direction. He loses a little bit of ground. Good battle for 2nd through 5th, ladies and gentlemen, as the leaders trying to get out of here in a hurry. It's Kenny Coolbeth still at the point on the Harley. Zanatti Racing, Monroney's Harley-Davidson, Burt Ives Honda, some of the sponsors on the 2 bike. There's the 9-1-42. Brian Smith working his way back towards the front. 10 laps to go. 10 more laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Coolbeth out front. Last time by, he was ahead by 1.8 seconds. 2nd is the 9. That's Meese. Here comes Brian Smith. He's putting on a charge. He was back to as far back as 5th. Now he's up to 2nd. Brian Smith could have been sitting back, saving his tire. We haven't had to do that for quite a while. Dunlop makes such a wonderful tire. Nobody's burning them up here in the main events, but Brian Smith may have been sitting back waiting until the race was winding down to start catching up to the leader. Coolbeth out front, number 2. Brian Smith was shown in the second position. Jared Meese is right there on the number 9 motorcycle. Brad Baker was in 4th, Jake Johnson 5th, Brandon Robinson 6th. Top 6 riders pulling away now. Back in 7th all by himself with Hammer and Hank Henry Wiles. I know he can't wait to get to Peoria next Sunday. See if he can pull off another victory at the Peoria TT. But he's in 7th here tonight in this main event. There's your leader already coming across the start-finish line right now. 2nd spot, 42 Smith. 3rd is Meese. 4th is Brad Baker, the factory Harley right back there in the 4th spot. Down the back straightaway, still Coolbeth with plenty of breathing room. 2nd Smith, 3rd is Meese, 4th is Baker. 5th and 6th now battling back and forth. That's Johnson and Brandon Robinson. A couple of riders make their homes in Pennsylvania right now, battling for 4th and 5th. Leader already out for turn number 4. Everybody else is now exiting turn 4 right now. Coolbeth putting on a super smooth race out front. Smith in 2nd, Meese in the 3rd spot, Brad Baker in 4th. 5th is Jake Johnson, 6th is Brandon Robinson. We'll go ahead and give you the full field rundown. Behind Robinson in 6th spot, Henry Wiles in 7th. Behind Wiles in 7th, C.V. Bonzi 8th, Briar Bauman 9th, Mikey Martin 10th, Corey Texter's up to the 11th spot, Robbie Pearson 12th, Doug Lawrence 13th, Jake Shoemaker 14th, Jeffrey Carver, Nicole Meese, Sammy Halbert, and Steve Murray off of the pace, off the track actually I should say. Let's go back out front. It's Coolbeth by country mile now. 2nd through 4th is anybody's race. Smith in 2nd, Meese in 3rd, Baker 4th, Johnson now slipping off. So is Robinson. Robinson's now slowing down a little bit. They have lost the draft. They've lost touch with the draft. One rider pulls out of the way. I believe that's Johnson, just pulled out of the way. Oh, it's either Johnson or Robinson. One rider pulls off of turn number 2. Has his left foot off the foot peg, but I believe he's lost power in the motorcycle, and I'm not sure if that's the 44 or the 5. We'll get that figured out next time by, as that was one of the riders battling for the lead earlier on. Here's Coolbeth already back around, lap number 20. 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, for the King of Cool. Smith in 2nd, Meese in 3rd. It was the 44, Robinson, who had mechanical issues off of turn number 2. So Robinson's night ends early. His left foot was off of the foot peg, but it looked like he was off of the power also. So it's Coolbeth, Brian Smith, Jared Meese, Brad Baker, Jake Johnson, Henry Wiles, Stevie Bonzi, Briar Bauman, Corey Texter's up to 9th. Robbie Pearson rounds out your top 10. Triumph rider in the 11th spot, that's Mikey Martin. Laps are winding down, 4 more miles to go for your leader. Here comes Coolbeth putting on a clinic, ladies and gentlemen. Coolbeth out front, Smith, Meese, Baker, Johnson, Wiles, Bonzi, Bauman, Pearson, Shoemaker, Corey Texter. C-Tex making his way towards the front. Laps are winding down. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the pit area will be open as soon as this 25-lap main event is done. It's still Coolbeth out front. Last time by is ahead by 2.6 seconds. Here he comes off of turn number 4. The Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson way out front. 3 laps to go. Coolbeth, Smith, Meese, Baker, Johnson, Wiles across the start-finish line. Bonzi now across the start-finish line. There is Bauman, Pearson, Shoemaker, Corey Texter, Mikey Martin, and Dougie Fresh across the start-finish line. Laps are winding down. The best battle on the track is for 2nd place. Smith has it. Jared Meese is right there, our points leader in the 3rd spot. Kevin Clark, the best flagman in the business, pulls out the green and the white. He will show them 2 laps to go. Kenny Coolbeth looking for his 32nd career Grand National victory. Could it come here at Indy? His last win here was back in 2009. 5 years ago, he won it. He's trying to do it again. 2 more miles, ladies and gentlemen, for these riders. Coolbeth already halfway down the back straightaway. Best battle is still for 2nd place. 2nd spot now, Meese takes a look up the inside. Meese takes over 2nd going into turn number 3. This time by Kenny Coolbeth will see the white flag for the final time tonight. 1 more mile to go for the King of Cool. Meese takes over the 2nd position going into 3. 1 mile to go. It's Coolbeth. Meese and Smith trying to settle over 2nd and 3rd. Here's Johnson and Baker trying to settle 4th and 5th. Wiles right there in the 6th spot. Bonzi in 7th. And a big red battle back there for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Coolbeth already halfway down the back straightaway. The King of Cool looks like he's going to coast into a victory. Set sail early on the Zanatti Racing XR 750. Looking for his 3rd Grand National victory off of turn number 4, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be his 32nd career Grand National win for the King of Cool. Zanatti Racing entry, Kenny Coolbeth will be your winner. 2nd spot, Brian Smith. 3rd, Jared Meese. 4th, Jake Johnson. 5th, Brad Baker. 6th, Henry Wiles. 7th, Stevie Bonzi. 8th, Bauman and Shoemaker. 9th will be Pearson. Corey Texter, I believe, gets a top 10. What a race we had. A few more riders coming across the finish line. There's Carver. There's Sammy Halbert. There's Nicole Meese, who coasted across the finish line. Sound like that engine had expired, possibly. Ladies and gentlemen, how would you like that main event here at the Indy Mile? Kenny Coolbeth picking up the win by 2.47 seconds. Brian Smith will come home in 2nd. 3rd spot, the number 9, Jared Meese. 4th, Jake Johnson. 5th will be Brad Baker. 6th, Henry Wiles. 7th, Stevie Bonzi. 8th place will be Briar Bauman. 9th place, Jake Shoemaker. 10th will be Robbie Pearson. 11th, Corey Texter. Mikey Martin, 12th. Behind him is Doug Lawrence, 13th. Jeffrey Carver, 14th. Sammy Halbert, 15th. Nicole Meese, 16th. Brandon Robinson scored 17th. And Steve Murray will end up at the tail end of the field. There's Brian Smith making his way back around on the 42 rider. 42 bike comes home 2nd. He'll make his way to that victory podium. He knows how to get up there. He's actually going to park his Kawasaki right here to hand it over to Rick Howerton and Jeff Gordon. Meese pulls up the number 9 bike. He'll hand that over to Sammy Sweet. Where is the man of the hour? Here he comes. Kenny Coolbeth looks like he's standing up. He's got his brand new wife, Jennifer, on back, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a fist pump right there. He's going to get a victory lap, and Jennifer is as well. He got married in the offseason, switched teams, and he said, I am just having fun, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, the King of Cool, getting a victory lap. What a race we had. Going to take his time all the way around there. Congratulations to all of our finishers. Special thanks to all you fans for coming out here tonight. Pretty full house here at the Indy Mile. It's going to take a few moments to get Kenny Coolbeth back around here, so let's give you the full field rundown once again. Coolbeth, your winner. Brian Smith, 2nd. Jared Meese, 3rd. Jake Johnson on the Ducati, 4th. Brad Baker, 5th. Henry Wiles will get 6th. Stevie Bonzi, 7th. Briar Bauman scores 8th. 55, Jake Shoemaker, 9th. Robbie Pearson, 10th. Corey Texter, 11th. Mikey Martin, 12th. Doug Lawrence, 13th. Jeffrey Carver, 14th. Sammy Halbert, 15th. Nicole Meese, 16th. Brandon Robinson, 17th. And 18th spot, Steve Murray. Remember, the pits will be open in just a second. In just a moment, we're going to go trackside with Barry Boone. He's going to try to herd up the top 3 finishers. Barry, how'd you like that race before we go down to victory podium?
Dude, all I know is the Indy Mile's in the record book. It did not disappoint. What a show we had tonight. I know you've already asked them, but I'm going to ask them again. Is that cool with you?
Absolutely.
How about it, Indy? How'd you like this entire Indy Mile program here tonight, folks? What'd you think? Love you too.
We'll gather the top 3 riders in just a second. We'll have our victory podium coming up.
Race fans, it's time for our post-race show featuring Victory Podium. And for more on that, let's go trackside.
Top 3 riders ahead there. Kenny Coolbeth just jumped his XR 750 up onto the stage. I think he's pretty stoked about this one. His 32nd career Grand National victory. He's the winningest active rider right now that is out there on the circuit. His wife, Jennifer, has the checkered flag. She's trying to get through the gate, get through the fence over there. She's now found the shortcut. She got the victory lap. Top 3 finishers, once again, will be headed to the victory podium. Kenny Coolbeth looks like he's super excited. Barry's not quite ready yet, so we'll keep it up here for just a moment. We appreciate all you folks for coming out here. There you go. We already did that.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, where were you
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our victory podium here for our Harley-Davidson expert twins at the Indy Mile. I'm looking for my 3rd place finisher, and I know he's somewhere close by. waiting on the jammer, wherever he may be. He's supposed to be right here, and I need him. Here he comes, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for your third-place finisher tonight at the Indy Mile. Give it up for national number 9, the jammer, Jared Mees. It looked like you guys were getting a little bit impatient back there trying to figure out who was going to be second and third on this box.
Well, you know, in the beginning of the race, Kenny checked out pretty quick, and I'm like, man, if I can just get a couple laps to myself, see what I could do here. And every time I come off the corner, here come Jake, or here come Brian, or, you know, Brad. And he just kept picking off his own laps, man, and he was on a rail tonight. But the last second to the last lap, I got a pretty good draft on Brian. I went underneath of him, and you know, he just came sailing on back. It was a good race. It was pretty dicey, and we came a long way actually from the dash till now, so we'll take it.
Yeah, the track looked like it was good for you, to your liking. Congratulations on a great night.
Thanks a lot.
Anybody you want to say thanks to?
Oh, of course. I can't say enough for the whole Rogers Racing, SDI, Screaming Eagle Harley-Davidson team, Blue Springs, National Cycle, Saddleman, D&D Exhaust. I just, all you fans, just my mechanic, Kenny Tolbert, Sammy Sweet, thank you so much for being there. My wife, Nicole. Bell Helmets, long list, man, but it means a lot to have all my supporters, especially Fabrications is a big one. Canon Air Filters, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, third place at the Indy Mile, it is the jammer, Jared Mees. You can make some noise for him right now. Really excited to talk to our second place finisher after a fine expert twins battle tonight here at the Indy Mile, and it's time to do it. Let's congratulate second place tonight, national number 42. It is the Piper, Brian Smith. Brian, you guys had a great race, no question about it. It wasn't for the lead, but that battle from second on back was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was probably funner to watch than it was to be in the middle of it. It was a scrap. You know, Kenny did exactly what I did last year. He got out front and let everybody race for second and checked out. And he put his head down and congratulations to him. And, man, me and Jared were going at it. Got close a few times. I got sucked into the draft like 3 wide and almost ran into the back a couple of the guys. And it was a treacherous main event there from second to fifth or whatever.
I know you wanted to give these guys here in Indianapolis a win at home, but, hey, second place, that'll work. We move on.
Yeah, I obviously always want to win, especially here in Indy. It's like my second home now. So, you know, my hat's off to all the crew that's behind me, Crosby Radio, Via Esparza, you know, Rick Howerton, this whole family, Dink, Jeff Gordon. You know, I wouldn't be here without all you guys, my family for coming down and supporting me, all my friends, and all the fans that stuck it out. We got the race in, even though it said 100% chance of rain. So thanks a lot, guys, for coming out.
How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Brian Smith comes up second at the Indy Mile. Well, he did it. Kenny Coolbeth, I don't think it was revenge. It was like a vengeance. He had to come back a couple of bad rounds, but nothing wrong with this program here tonight. He brought this Zanardi XR750 to the top of the box, and now it's time, Indy. Let's make some noise for national number 2. He's the king of cool, Kenny Coolbeth. Kenny, you had an impressive performance tonight. Once you got out front, you just put your head down. You never looked back.
Yeah, I did, and at the probably 8 laps to go, I was kind of worried. You know, my tire was kind of going away a little bit, I thought, and you know, kind of just rode my laps. You know, these guys from Zanardi, Dave Atherton, builds me a great motorcycle, and there's no complaints. You know, I just need to show up with my head on straight and ride the motorcycle. You know, it's great, and you know, there's so many people behind us. Specialty Fabrications is big, Top One Oil, DC. There's a whole list. Strict Gear, Diesel Leathers, Arai Helmets, K&N, Millennium Technology, Pro Plates, and there's a bunch of them that I'm missing. So
this is arguably one of the most important races of the year in many respects in the industry. How does it feel to have won the Indy Mile?
It feels good, you know. Last couple weekends we've been struggling with everything, and you know, trying to fight the rain, and you know, the Indy Mile is prestigious to win, and this is my second time, and I was ready coming into it. The track was changing every time we were out there, and I was kind of nervous for the main event. Kind of went in turn 3 and a little high like I was, and I just skated up to the hay bales and changed my line around and just got by all those guys and put my head down, and it worked out.
Just thank everybody you won the time?
Yeah, I think so. Everybody. I'd like to thank my family, my wife. The Atherton family puts their heart and soul into my program, and it shows. There's great people behind me.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a total gentleman, and he's done it. He's won the Indy Mile. Make some noise for national number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Wow, what a show we had here tonight. I want to say thank you to all of these great fans who ignored the weather forecast. Oh, where's Rusty? Where's Rusty with D&D? Okay, at any rate, we want to say thank you to all of our great sponsors. You want to do it? Let's do it. Here's Rusty. Real quick, guys, I'm sorry. D&D is sponsoring a program here. I'll just let Rusty speak for himself. Rusty?
Well, on behalf of D&D Exhausts, I take great pleasure in offering $500 to Kenny Coolbeth, my favorite rider. Not only does he buy our pipes, he gave me a T-shirt. Congratulations.
D&D Performance Exhaust out of Fort Worth, Texas. Thank you, Rusty. I'll step off here and let the members of the media. Note to the media, thank you. All the national media, the regional media, and the local media for following our sport and covering it. We couldn't do it without you. To all these fans here at Indy who ignored the 100% and 80% forecast, you guys rock. We are thankful to be here. Family events, thank you for a great show here tonight. Matthew, Lauk and company, you guys are the best. Many thanks to the Harley-Davidson Motor Company, Dunlop, Sunoco, Cortex, Saddleman, Tommy Doom of Fine Jewelers, Kimco, Motobat, Sozo, and it goes on and on. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Partner, great call in both of your mains tonight. I loved listening to you. Happy trails, folks. I'm Barry Boone saying good night.
Thanks a lot, Barry. Great job. Congratulations to Kenny Coolbeth, who with his 32nd career Grand National victory, his second here at the Indy Mile. He won back in 2009. Brian Smith and Jared Meese put on a heck of a race. Our points race has tightened up, ladies and gentlemen. 2 Michigan riders on top. Brian Smith has 184 points. Jared Meese has 183 points. Jake Johnson still Mr. Consistency with 179 points. Kenny Coolbeth moves up to the 4th spot with 161, and rounding out your top 5, Sammy Halbert with 138. That's your top 5 in the point standings. Once again, appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out. The pits are open. You can go through the tunnel to go to the pit area. Please be careful. Those bikes are extremely warm. And once again, you don't have to go straight home, but please go home straight and watch out for all those cars. They're not watching out for motorcycles. They should be, because we're here at Indy MotoGP weekend. We will see you guys out there at the road race. Also, the Grand National Flat Track Series heads to Peoria, Illinois next Sunday, and we will see you there. I'm Scotty Dubler signing off. We'll see you next weekend, Peoria, Illinois, Thunder Valley.
Slap on your shoe, stay in the draft and on the groove. Daytona Beach, Pomona Cat Lake, and hear those engines a mile away. Sideways, sideways. Into 1, coming off 4, podium spot knocking at your door. Tight race, so do what you do. Watch out, y'all, I'm coming through. Sideways, sideways. Handlebar to bar, side by side. Fans stand up when they go 3 wide. Handlebar to bar, side by side. Fans stand up when they go 3 wide. tight race, so do what you do. Watch out, y'all.